listen to me for a moment. When a woman is cheating, she doesn't just hide her actions. She often plays with your mind in ways that make you question what you see, what you feel, and what your instincts are warning you about. And the painful part is that you start doubting yourself more than you doubt her. I'm Coach Jane, and in this video, I'll show you exactly how female psychology works when she's hiding another man. Stay with me, because what you'll learn today will change how you interpret women's psychology forever. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you get to know when we drop our next video.
Point 1. Twisting facts to make you question your instincts. When a woman is being unfaithful, one of the first things she does is twist facts just enough to make you confused. Not enough to be obvious, but enough to make you wonder whether your own memory is unreliable. This is one of the most common cheating signs men ignore because it doesn't look dramatic. It looks subtle. It feels small. But it completely rewires how you trust yourself. Let me explain how Female Behavior Decoded works in moments of guilt. A cheating wife knows that truth is dangerous. She knows your instincts are already alert even before you speak, so she shifts the details in small ways that make you second-guess what you saw. Maybe you noticed her phone lighting up at strange hours. Maybe you saw a name that didn't sit right with you. Maybe her story didn't match her timing. In a healthy relationship, she would clear that up with calmness and transparency. But a woman who is hiding something will adjust the story. She'll say it happened earlier than it did, or that she told you about it even though she didn't, or that you misheard, misunderstood, or are remembering wrong. This is classic gaslighting, and it protects her secret better than anything else. Because once she makes you question your own clarity, she no longer has to hide perfectly. She just has to confuse you enough. In my work as a dating coach for men, I tell men this. When a woman repeatedly changes small details, it's rarely an accident. It's usually emotional strategy. And the more she twists facts, the more you lose confidence in your instincts. You start thinking, maybe I overreacted, or maybe I misread the situation, or maybe she's right, maybe I am insecure. But insecurity is not the problem here. Instinct is what's talking, and your instinct is one of the strongest tools you have in relationships. Women's psychology teaches us that when a woman feels cornered by the truth, she will shift the narrative before she shifts her behavior. It's easier to confuse you than it is to confess. So pay attention to patterns. Pay attention to the repetition of corrections she makes in her stories. Pay attention to how often she tells you that you misunderstood. Once is human. Twice, maybe chance. But when it becomes a pattern, it is emotional protection of a hidden lifestyle. Let me add something important here. If this point is already opening your eyes, just pause for a second and tap that like button. It helps this message reach more men who need this kind of relationship advice for men. Keep watching, because point 2 reveals a much stronger manipulation tactic, one that makes even confident men feel guilty for noticing the truth. This is where the mask starts to fall.
Point 2. Playing the victim to divert suspicion. When a woman is cheating and afraid of being exposed, she doesn't just defend herself. She changes the emotional atmosphere so strongly that you stop focusing on the truth and start focusing on her feelings. This is where women's psychology gets very strategic. Because the moment she sees that you're connecting the dots, she uses emotion as a diversion. Instead of clarifying the situation, she becomes hurt. Instead of answering simple questions, she becomes offended. Instead of staying calm, she becomes overwhelmed. And suddenly, you're no longer trying to understand her behavior. You're trying to calm her down. This emotional shift is not random. It's not accidental. It is one of the most powerful cheating signs. because it takes the spotlight off the facts and places it on her reaction. A cheating wife knows that the best way to control the narrative is to make you feel like the accuser. So she starts to play the victim. She might say things like, "I can't believe you think I'd do something like that. Why aren't you always attacking me? You're ruining the peace we have. You never trust me." Notice that none of these statements answer your question. None of them address the behavior you're pointing out. But they create guilt in you. Guilt is the emotional cage that protects her secret. This is where many men become stuck. Because instead of examining her female behavior decoded, they start examining their own tone, their approach, their words. You start wondering if you did ask the question wrong. You start thinking, maybe you hurt her feelings. You start apologizing, even when you didn't do anything wrong. In my relationship coaching sessions, I've seen men shift from observers to defenders without even realizing it. One moment they're noticing inconsistencies. The next moment they're comforting the woman who created them. This is psychological redirection. And it works because you are a man who loves deeply, who doesn't want conflict, and who wants to protect his partner's emotions. She knows that, and she uses that. Playing the victim allows her to control the storyline. It makes you the bad guy for questioning her. It makes her the wounded one. And in that position, she doesn't need to explain anything. She just needs to cry, withdraw, or react emotionally enough for you to back off. Let me tell you something directly. If she gets more emotional about being questioned than she gets about protecting the relationship, something deeper is wrong. Healthy behavior is clarity. Healthy behavior is transparency. Healthy behavior is partnership, not emotional performance. If this part is helping you see things clearly, remember to give a quick like to support this channel. Now, point 3 even goes deeper into emotional manipulation. This next part explains why simple questions create dramatic reactions and how she uses that to hide why women cheat. Don't miss it. Point 3. Emotional overreactions to simple questions. There's a moment in every relationship where the truth becomes too heavy for a cheating woman to manage. At that point, even the simplest questions feel like a threat to her secret. This is where emotional overreactions come in. And this reaction is one of the strongest cheating signs you will ever see. Let me explain this clearly. When a woman is faithful, relaxed, and grounded in honesty, your questions don't shake her. She may be confused. She may ask for clarity, but she stays calm. However, when a woman is hiding something, her feelings are already unstable. She knows her story is weak. She knows her timeline is fragile. She knows her behavior has changed. So even a small question, such as, "Who were you talking to?" or "Why did you come home late?" or "Why didn't you pick up your phone?" triggers a big emotional explosion. Not because the question is heavy, but because her guilt is heavy. This is where women's psychology takes on a protective pattern. The overreaction is a shield. The intensity is a distraction. The drama is a smokescreen. She may raise her voice. She may cry. She may accuse you of being controlling. She may shift into sudden silence. She may even walk away to cool off. But none of these reactions answer your question. None of them address the behavior you're trying to understand. This is why I tell men in coaching sessions that female behavior decoded is not in her words, but in her reactions. An honest woman wants clarity. A dishonest woman wants escape. A cheating wife knows that emotional intensity drains your strength. It shuts down your curiosity. It makes you feel like the problem even when your question is normal. So the emotional explosion becomes a strategy. It overwhelms you. It makes the conversation painful. And with time, you stop asking. And when you stop asking, she becomes safer in her secret. Let me ask you this gently. Have you ever noticed that you became afraid to bring things up because you didn't want an argument? Have you ever avoided questions because they always turned into emotional chaos? Have you ever stayed silent just to keep the peace? If that has ever been your reality, I want you to drop your story in the comments. Share what happened. Share what you saw. Share the moment you knew something wasn't right. Your story may be the message another man needs to see today. And I want you to know you're not alone in this. Many men lose their voice in relationships because emotional explosions wear them down. But you deserve clarity. You deserve honesty, and you deserve peace. Stay aware of these cheating patterns. Your instincts were never the enemy. If today's video opened your eyes, I want you to take a breath and remember this. Your intuition is one of your greatest strengths. You're not crazy. You're not overthinking. You're noticing what your spirit has been trying to show you. I'm Coach Jane, and if you want more real, grounded relationship advice for men, subscribe to this channel. Share this video with another man who needs to hear the truth. Your support helps this message reach those who feel alone and confused.